Tigers Live is brought to you by Kacher Dentistry, creating beautiful, healthy smiles and keeping them for life. KacherDentistry.com. Schedule your appointment today as they offer adult and pediatric services serving Conroe, Woodlands, and Spring area. And Angelica Lopez, Styled Real Estate, 16 years of experience in the Spring, Woodlands, Conroe, and surrounding areas of Montgomery County. Your go-to realtor in Montgomery County, Angelica Lopez. Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Greer, and I'm joined once again today by Sadie Greer. She's your producer and engineer for this Game 3 matchup. Winner moves on to the regional finals next week. Klein Cain has already moved on. They eliminated Rockwall in a 2-game sweep, so they're sitting and waiting the winner of this matchup. Oh, man, what a night it was. Cue the music. If we had the song, we'd probably get in a little bit of trouble with YouTube on the copyright broadcast of that. But, man, what a night it was. The best way I can describe last night for you, kind of go vintage for you, is I felt like I was at a Mississippi State football game while Queen was playing a concert. The only thing, it was just so electric last night. The fans were out. The softball team had come over after their loss, and this place, both softball teams, because their same matchup, Midway, was playing Conroe for the softball to move on to the state finals. And, man, they came over, the crowds came over, and they merged, and it was just electric here last night. And not just the atmosphere. We had lightning popping in the background. The crowd was going. The only thing that was missing was Mr. Electric himself. He's back home in Houston watching this, listening to this from a distance. But it was a buzz last night here in Game 2 as Conroe came out ahead by a game of 2-1. And when I mean buzz, it was Sam Busby and Colin Boley that came out. Boley started, went 4 strong, and Busby came out of the bullpen and held on. The only run they allowed was the single solo home run by Brody Quinn, who is an absolute fantastic player. And he's moving on to play at the next level. Just a fantastic player. It's been a pleasure to watch a player like that. And that's the old scout hat that I had on. Just watching him, he's a phenomenal player. Midway has some players that are just electric as well. And the Tigers pitching staff last night held them at bay all night, kept them off balance. And today they're going to go to Owen Raymer. He's going to be on the mound. The righty comes in. And I've seen Owen pitch at least 4 times over the last couple years. This would be the 5th time. And he has just impressed me every time. He is not going to overwhelm you with a 90-something mile-an-hour fastball. He is more like, to me, a Greg Maddux type of pitcher. He's going to move the ball around. He controls it well, just like he controls the barrel of the bat. He's your guy for a hit and run. He's your guy for a bunt. He's your guy that's going to put the ball where it needs to be with the bat, and he can do it with the arm as well. A very talented young man and player for this team, and the son of head coach Jeff Raymer. He gets the ball today. Expect fastballs on the edges. He's going to keep them off balance. He's going to move it around. He's going to dial in the curveball, and he can pound the zone with the curveball, and he can pound the zone with the changeups. And I got to, call the game that he pitched against the Highlanders on the Highlanders side. And the Highlanders only won that game 1-0. He kept the Highlanders bats at bay, and that's a very talented lineup that the Highlanders had this season. And I don't think for about 4 or 5 innings, the Highlanders didn't get the ball in the infield. And I'm expecting to see that again here today with Owen on the mound for your Tigers. The Midway Panthers are going to counter with Brody Potts. He gets the start. They're the home team, or they're the visiting team. The Tigers are your home team here today. They flipped as we were shutting down the broadcast last night, and I had an opportunity to talk with Coach Raymer a little bit last night after that, because the old baseball coach in me was, man, the visitors won Game 1, and that was and kind of going back to Game 1, Midway put up a 13 spot. It was a mercy rule. Come back out, and they lose yesterday 2-1. They scored 13 in Game 1 and only muster 1 yesterday. And so how this is going to play out today is going to be interesting. And kind of to circle back to the whole coach's hat thing, I was telling Raymer told me he's the home team, and I was like, man, I was like, I was thinking you were going to go with the visitors. And he's like, we lost the toss. Midway won the toss and deferred to be visitors. And same line of thinking. Hey, the visiting team has won each game. The visiting teams put runs on the board in the first inning. And us baseball people, those of you that are out there, you know we are superstitious as you know what. And so the superstition, Coach Raymer wanted to be visitors. They wanted to be visitors. It came down to a coin toss. They won the toss and chose to be visitors. So your Tigers are your home team here today for this Game 3. It's win or go home, backs against the wall as things are kind of getting ready. Fields prep. Both teams have gone through warm-ups. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be back with your lineups, starting lineups, and hopefully first pitch right around the corner. The umpires are here. They're making their way out to the field. We'll take a quick little 20-second bump, and we'll be right back.
With 16 years of real estate experience from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
Angelica Lopez and Style Real Estate for jumping on board with us here for this series and their support. Again, 16 years of experience, Spring, Woodlands, Conroe, surrounding areas. Please check her out. You can hit that little QR code. It takes you straight to her Facebook page. And proud supporter here of Tigers baseball. So thank you to her and her team. Lineups for today as the umpires have made their way out to the ballpark. And lineups are being swapped out between Coach Raymer and Coach Kornblum. For the visiting Panthers, not much has changed for them if you've been listening and catching all three of these games. It's going to be T.J. Woodson at the top of the order. He's over at shortstop. Drew Olmstead at third base. Some fantastic plays by him last night over there at the hot corner. And we'll get to what Jake Matthew had going on as well. And then Weethorn is out in center. Brody Quinn at first base in the cleanup spot. Scythe out in right field, another talented player for the Panthers. Strong arm out there in the outfield, and he had a big home run in Game 1, and he was held pretty tight down last night by the pitching staff by the Tigers. Kenyon Martin's out in left field. Steen back behind the plate. Goldstrich is your DH here tonight, or this afternoon. And then Lytle, he's over at second base. Brody Potts gets the ball. He's on the mound. And then for your Tigers, the home team here today in this Game 3, elimination game for both. At the top of the orders, Jaden Keith, he's going to be your designated hitter. And then Jackson Reagan, he gets the call at second base. Tanner Trantham in the usual spot in the 3-hole. He's out in right. Rothlander is in center field, his usual spot in the 5 spot. Gavin Stenger gets the call behind the plate again. And it's going to be a long, hot afternoon for him back there as well. And Busby is going to move from second to short with Raymer being on the mound. Bruns is at first. And then Matthew at the hot corner. Again, to highlight him and the plays he had last night between him and Olmstead. It was a third base web gym all night. The ball was in play over there all night. Some fantastic plays by both of these young men. And then rounding out the lineup at the bottom is Owen Raymer. He gets the call. He's going to be on the bump. Had the opportunity to talk with Coach Raymer just about 10 minutes ago before we started the broadcast, and they're looking to Owen to keep these guys at bay. And then right now it's going to be, after that, as long as he can go, it's going to be arm by arm out of the bullpen, and everybody does their job, gets the outs when they need to get the outs, and it's going to be bullpen by committee after that. They have the arms down there, so that's not an issue. And that was what the whole purpose of what happened, what we saw transpire on Thursday's game as he went to the bullpen, and basically each guy came in from the second, third, fourth inning on and was just give us an inning, get us a couple outs, and save the arm. So are they fresh? No. Do they have enough in there to get an out or two? Definitely. Owen Raymer is going to be the key to this game. How long can he go, and how long can you keep this lineup quiet? Because they erupted for 13 on Thursday, held to 1 last night. Which team for the Panthers is going to show up today? The team that struggled with the low velo last night, or the team that pounded the ball over the wall on Thursday? Hopefully it's the latter, and we have ourselves another barnstorming game like we had last night. We're heading towards the national anthem here at the park. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with your first pitch that's brought to you by Kacher Dentistry here in a few moments. We'll see you on the other side with first pitch here in about 2 minutes. And welcome back to Kyle, Texas, the home of the Lehman Lobos, as we are here for this Game 3 regional semifinal matchup. Winner take all. Winner moves on next week to face Klein Kane. We already know that's set. And Owen Raymer gets the ball. He's on the mound going through his warm-up pitches right now as the Tigers are your home team. Run around through the field again. We'll go through your defensive setup for the Tigers. Stanger behind the plate. Raymer on the mound. Jake Matthew at third. Sam Busby is at short. Jackson Reagan, he's at second. Parker Watson is in left. Rothlander in center and Trantham in right. As we are about ready to go, TJ Woodson steps to the plate. Umpires for today, Todd Blassingame gets the call behind the plate. Jeff Baldwell's at third, Jim Sawyer is at second, and Robert Redding, the crew chief, is over at first base today. TJ Woodson steps in. Couple of practice swings, stands in that open stance as they're in the white pants, red tops, trimmed in blue and blue helmets. Your Tigers are in the white pants, gold jerseys, gold hat with the black trim. Raymer gets the sign, the step, the wind, the kick, and fastball is right there for called strike one. It's what you expect to see from Raymer. You'll see a lot of that all day long, right there on the outer third with the fastball as he's ahead 0-1. He rocks, he fires, the pitch, curveball lifted out to center. Rothlander charging, not going to get there. And that's going to drop in for a leadoff single for TJ Woodson. And the Panthers have their first base runner of the game, and Drew Olmstead at the plate. Olmstead was 0 for 1 last night. He reached base twice. He was hit by a pitch and walked. Woodson at first takes his lead. Olmstead at the plate. The pitch shows bunt. Fastball just off the outside corner. So the Panthers playing small ball here early, get the runner over and trying to get on the board first. So far, that's been the key to victory for both teams. The team that has scored first won game one, and the team that scored first last night won game two. The 1-0 bunt gets it down. Third baseman Matthew gloves it, flips to first, and gets the out. The sacrifice is complete, and Woodson is up at second base now with one out. Brings up Weethorn, the center fielder. Weethorn, he was 0 for 3 last night with a couple of pop-ups and a ground ball to third base at Jake Matthew. So again, Matthew, first play of the game for him, charging hard, takes the bunt, gets the out. So now it's up to the 3 and 4 hole hitters to pick up the RBI for the Panthers. Raymer is set at the belt. The pitch, curveball just misses downstairs for ball one. It's a scorcher here today. We're expecting temperatures up to 102 or 103. Sun's out. I'd say kind of more on the mostly sunny side. And here's the 1-0. Curveball misses away outside, runs it to 2-0. Wind blowing out again to right center. And that's where they have the scoreboard. The flags are on top of the scoreboard as they're kind of whipping around. It's gusting up just a tad, but it is blowing straight out to right center. Counts 2-0 on Weethorn as he stands in. He has that open stance. Here's the pitch, and that is swung on and fouled straight back into the screen for strike one. Missing barrels as that ball was in between the barrel and the hands. And Weethorn's asked for time. Got the spray can of pine tar out, and Coach Kornblum's running through signs. He steps back in with that open stance, has the hands just even with the shoulders, and he has the bat on the shoulder as the middle infielders are working the runner at second, trying to hold him close. Raymer set at the belt. The 2-1 on the way. And the curveball just misses that outside edge. Has to be low. It's right there on the plate. He's trying to keep it down, trying to keep it around the knees and get him to pound it into the turf. He's very effective at doing that. I've seen him do it several times over the last couple of years. He has the glove up underneath the armpit and gets his sign. He's set at the belt. The 3-1. Swung on. Runner running. Trantham is in the right field. He can't find it. The ball's off the wall. Opposite field. Throw comes in as neither Rothlander or Trantham could see the ball off the bat. That's going to be an issue. The sun is slightly behind us here in the press box, blaring down on the field. Trantham threw his hands up early as he couldn't see it. He looked to Rothlander. The ball was it could have been caught. It was maybe 6 feet, 5 feet up the wall, but if they would have got there, it definitely could have been caught. And that's going to be a double RBI for Wheathorn. And the Panthers are on the board here in the first. Quinn at the plate with a runner at second and 1 out. The pitch. Changeup in the dirt for ball 1. So 2 hits here in the inning. And 1 run across for the Panthers with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that curveball is in there to Quinn. Had him buckled. Started it at the knee and broke it back to the inside corner. That's the one you're going to want to live at with a hitter of his caliber. Counts 1-1. Raymer set at the belt. The kick, the pitch. Curveball just below the knees. That's where he's working. And he's just missing by about a baseball below the zone. That's going to run the count to 2-1. Quinn, dangerous. He hit an absolute missile last night to straightaway center. Here's the pitch. Misses again. Stanger doing a fantastic job back there framing the pitches, just not getting the call. That runs the count to 3-1 on the cleanup hitter, first baseman Quinn for the Panthers. Raymer set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled towards the screening for strike 2. And Raymer's set. The payoff pitch on the way to Quinn. Swung on and drilled to center. Rothlander giving chase towards the gap. That ball is trouble. He looks up at the wall, and it is out of here. And he hit, just to show you how good of a player that young man is, he took a curveball that was at the knees on the inside corner, and he hit it to the right center gap over the wall with authority. Man, you just shake your head at that because that was a fantastic pitch by Raymer. And Quinn just hit it out of the ballpark. I don't know what else you could do except for walk it up there and put it in a perfect spot. He inside outed that pitch, dropped the barrel down, and just got a hold of that. So now 3-0 on the 2-run homer off the bat of Quinn. And still only 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the first inning. So working from the windup, the rock, the kick, the pitch. Just off the outside corner. Yeah, if the umpire's not giving Raymer those calls, it's going to be rough. If he's going to make him throw it down the middle of the plate, he's got to get those calls off the outside corner. Gets the sign, the rock, the fire, the 1-0, swung on and fouled down the right side, out of play. It's Tyler Scythe at the plate, the right fielder. He had a home run on Monday, or Thursday's game, game 1. As he stands in, has kind of an Aaron Judge type stance, holds the hands out extended from the chest. Here's the 1-1, and that is swung on and popped up on the infield. Runs under, makes the catch for out number 2.
Up to bat, number 18, Canyon Martin.
And that brings up the left fielder, left-handed hitting Canyon Martin for the Panthers with 2 outs and nobody on. They're up by 3 here in the top of the first. Again, if you missed my open, I'm talking about the coin flip last night as the rock, the fire, the pitch, is fastball misses down and in for ball 1 to Martin. Was who was going to be the visiting team. Both coaches playing the superstition card. They won the toss and chose to be visitors. And here we are with that who's scoring first analytics. Here's the pitch that's swung on and fouled down the left field line, out of play. That's going to even it up at 1-1 on Martin. Two outs here in the inning. Raymer stares in, he gets the sign. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Just misses downstairs. That's going to run into 2-1. Again, he is just missing. He is right there, about a baseball below the zone. Stenger doing some great frame jobs. Here's the 2-1. Again, right there, he's just missing. On the inside corner, it's there in the zone. Over the plate, he's got to be missing low. That runs it to 3-1, 2 outs. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Now he's there, right there on the right at the knees on the inside edge. Great 3-1 pitch. That runs the count full with 2 outs. Raymer gets the sign. He's rocking and he's firing. Here's the payoff pitch, swung on, driven to left. Right at Watson, he retreats, reaches up and makes the catch for out number 3. But the Panthers put 3 across on a couple of hits, but it was the 2-run homer from Brody Quinn that did the damage. They're up 3-0. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live.
With 16 years of real estate experience from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
And we're moving into the bottom of the first. It's going to be the top of the order for the Tigers. Keith Reagan and Trantham. Anybody reaches. Ed Rothlander is in the cleanup spot. Defensively for the Panthers, Steen behind the plate. Olmstead, he's over at third. Woodson at short. He's heading off to Baylor. So give you the kind of caliber player that he is. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball. Misses high and tight for ball 1 to Keith. Lytle's at second. Quinn, he's heading off to McLennan. He's at first. The wind, the kick, the pitch. The 1-0 is right there for a called strike. Evens it at 1-1. Around the outfield, it's Martin Weethorn, who's heading off to Louisiana Monroe, and then Tyler Scythe in right. And a high fastball again. A check swing, and the appeal down is nope. And that's going to take it to 2-1 on Keith. Tigers looking to strike back, get on the board here in the first. The 2-1 on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back to run the count to 2-2. And you can hear the wind really blowing. It's coming in from behind us, blowing straight out, really picked up here. The 2-2. Fastball misses really high. Yeah, Steen kind of had to come out of his crouch just to keep that one from going to the backstop. That takes the count full on Keith as he stands in that slightly open stance. Here's the payoff pitch and misses below the knees. And Tigers have a runner on. It's really important at this point that you get you respond to the 3-0. So you'll see a bunt, and you're going to put the bat in the hands of Tanner Trantham, try to pick up the RBI, and then Ed Rothlander behind him. So I'm expecting to see a sacrifice here. It's Jackson Reagan. He's at second. Here's the pitch, and the fastball is way outside. He didn't show us bunt at all. So checking out Coach Raymer, no signs being put on. Not sure if he's letting him swing away or if they have a sign on, or sometimes you put a play on without having to run signs. Here's the 1-0, misses high again. Runs the count to 2-0. Counts 2-0. Jaden Keith at first, drew the walk. The pitch, misses, gets the call at the letters on the outside corner for strike one. Not so sure about that one. That's why I'm here, and the guy in black, the Blues down there. That's one job I would not want to have. He's set. Here's the 2-1. And that got him to swing at that. That pitch was probably a ball, but the strike before that he called as a strike got him to swing the bat on that one. That was probably about a half a baseball higher. So that's an influence you're going to see as the game goes on. It's 2-2. Runner at first. The pitch. Chases the fastball again, high and out of the zone for the strikeout. Kind of confused as why the bunt wasn't put on there. Down by 3. Give your 3 and 4 hole hitter a chance to pick up an RBI and respond. Get these fans rocking and rolling again like they were last night. Trentham at the plate, bat on the shoulder. Here's the pitch. Fastball up in the zone for ball 1. Hopefully that's something that they've picked up on out in the dugout. He's missing high in the zone. The release point is off. He's going to try to make an adjustment, typically with the off-speed pitch, so that's something you want to look for and sit on. Here's the 1-0. There's the off-speed pitch. So when you're struggling with the fastball, typically that's the pitch that'll help you find your release point. So he dots a curveball in the inside corner, and he's going to run it to 1-1 now with 1 out. Keith at first with the leadoff walk. The 1-1. Swung on his curveball. He takes it opposite field. The wind's got it. It's down all the way to the wall. That's going to be a double for Trantham. Keith is on his horse, and he's going to make it to third. Not so sure about that. Keith got a bad read on it off the bat, or he probably would have scored. It looked like the center fielder, Weethorn, and right fielder Scythe had a run on it, and the wind took it and kept going and drifting from him. Keith wasn't sure as he got halfway between first and second until he saw it drop. So smart base running keeps, he's held at third, and Trantham at second now with the double. And the Tigers have 2 in scoring position. As time's called and Coach Cornblum is out at the mound talking to his pitcher, Potts. And this is just going through the situation. You've got a 3-1 lead. The run at third, that's 3-1. Run at second, it's 3-2. We're in the 5 spot in the lineup. He hits a fly ball. He hits a ground ball. We're going to give the run up. This is just determining how the positioning is here as they break the meeting at the mound, where the infielders go. The infielders are going deep. They're giving up the run. So this was a talk of, hey, get the out at the plate, we'll take the run. That was what that conversation was all about. As they're deep in the infield, they're tight on the corners. Outfield is straight away. Rothlander at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball hits him. Hits him in the knee. And the bases are loaded for the catcher, Gavin Stanger. As you can really hear the wind. So you kind of get an idea of the ball that came off the bat of Trantham. From Keith's perspective, it looked like it was just a regular pop-up in the gap, and the wind took that thing and it raced it all the way to the wall. It bounced one hop and hit off the wall. And from my perspective, I thought it was just a routine fly ball that the right fielder would have made, and it took it. It's really, really gusting out there. The flags are just whipping pretty solid. So straight to right center. You get it in the stratosphere out there, it is going to go a long way. So Stanger steps in. He had to remove the catcher's gear. 1 out in the inning, and bases are loaded for Tigers. Here's the pitch. Swung on and down the right field line and out of play for strike 1. The Tigers have to at least get one here. You got to put one. You got to respond to the 3-0 or the 3 spot they put on in the first. Yes, it might only be 1 run. You're still down by 2, but more of the old cliche, a moral victory. They came out swinging. Here we are. We're responding. Bases loaded. The 0-1 swung on down the right field line and out of play again. That's going to run it to 0-2 on Stanger. Busby's on deck. Potts is set. Time called at the plate by Stanger. The pro and college game has changed. The high school game has not. As Potts is set, the 0-2. Brings him up. Fastball at the knees. Stanger not happy with the call. That's a conversation as I walk off. If I'm him, I turn around to the umpire and said, I need that call. You got it. You're going to give it. You're going to call him, ring me up on that. You got to give that call to my pitcher. And it looked like he might have said that as he walked off. So now 2 outs in the inning. Busby at the plate. He's swinging it from the right side. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Chance for the Tigers to respond to the 3 spot the Panthers put up. Here's the pitch. Curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Potts stares in, glove on the thigh, as he comes set just at the chest. The 1-0. Chases the high fastball. He's missing high. He's missed high the whole inning. For you young hitters out there, that's something you should be looking at in the dugout all the time, in the game or out of the game. You're paying attention every pitch. Tendencies are there, they're real. That's why analytics are here in the game. The 1-1 is swung on and lifted towards first. Quinn right at him, reaches up, makes the catch, and Potts works himself out of one heck of a jam. Bases loaded with 1 out. He gets it done. Tigers leave the bases loaded, stranded. We're heading to the top of the second. 3-0 Panthers. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live.
With 16 years of real estate experience from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
pitch on the inside corner. That looked like a strike, but it's a ball. Raymer gets the sign, the rock, the delivery, the pitch. Swung on and foul down the third base line. And that's going to run it at up to 1-1. One ball, one strike, no outs. The catcher staying at the plate, that open stance. A lot of these hitters for the Panthers go that route and hits him between the numbers on the back. So a hit by pitch. And for the second consecutive inning, the Panthers have a leadoff batter on base. So Jackson Goldstrich at the plate. He's your designated hitter for the Panthers today. Then Lytle is on deck as time's been called. As Coach Raymer is out to have a conversation with his catcher Stanger and his pitcher Raymer. Third baseman Matthew has joined the conversation, and the home plate umpires are listening in on this. I'm not sure what happened. I was marking my scorebook as Coach Raymer came out. Now he's having a conversation with the home plate umpire. And I did get some information, some intel about what was going on last night as this is happening here, kind of give you an idea what that was about. The Panthers were using the batting cages that are on their side of the field to pinch hit. Now the umpire is going to Coach Kornblum to have a conversation with him. But the Panthers, the batting cages are right behind their dugout, and they were using them in the middle of the game last night. And the Tigers don't have those behind their plate. It's not a rule in baseball to where you can't warm up in the middle of a game, because the pros and colleges, they do it all the time. The difference is they have batting cages on both sides of the field. And so Coach Raymer the explanation I got was, hey, fair is fair. We can't use it. Here's a pitch. The bunt, sacrifice bunt is down. Raymer gets to it, not in time. And so what was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt by Goldstrich turns into an infield single. And that's going to put runners at first and second. Now Raymer's out again. And I think this might be it for Owen. As Coach Raymer's pointing to the outfield. And so I'm going to try to get this for you here real quick. So we have players moving all around. So we're going to have a bullpen. We're going to have a new pitcher. I'm trying to get the number for you. All these kids dyed their hair bleach white. And so it's hard to tell some of them apart. It looks like we've got Gunnar Paps coming in out of the bullpen. And I saw a couple other players come in and out and swap gloves. So I'm just trying to figure out if Raymer is going to stay in the game. And we're going to let Paps go through his warm-up pitches, and we'll get this all sorted out for you, and we'll be back here in a second.
With 16 years of real estate experience, from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
All right, so I stand corrected. It is, I thought it was a 4. It's actually a 1, so it's 21. That is Bryce Thompson has come out of the bullpen. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Kacher Dentistry, txhsbsb.com. They are creating beautiful, healthy smiles and keeping them for life. Your Woodlands, Conroe, Spring area, family-owned, family-operated, family-driven dental practice. Check them out, txhsbsb.com. So defensively, Busby is still at short. Watson was out in left, and he came in. And I didn't see who went out, so I don't know if Raymer is still in the game and he's in left. We'll try to pick that up as things transpire here. And it's runners at first and second. And Lytle at the plate. First pitch was a curveball for a called strike. He was not happy with the call. It was a little high in the zone. But Thompson gets the call. He's showing bunt. They're trying to move the runners up. There's no outs. He set the belt. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt again. He gets it down the third baseline. And foul. That's going to run into 0-2. Lytle had a home run in game 1 as he was held in check last night, 0 for 2 with a walk. As he steps out, regathers, and now he's back in. Has that slightly open stance like most of them do. The 0-2 on the way. Just off the outside corner for ball 1. Beautiful pitch right there by Thompson, and a great frame job by Stanger. Doesn't get it. It's a great 0-2 pitch. You get him leaning outside. The spot you can come in with the curveball on the inside corner here. Double play is still in. Your runners at first and second. The 1-2. Swung on. Right to second baseman. And then on to first in time. Jackson Reagan. Or I'm sorry, Raymer moved to second. So that's Raymer is at second. So it was Raymer to Busby at short for the 6-4-3 or 4-6-3. Now you got 2 outs in the inning and a runner at third, and TJ Woodson at the plate. Woodson is committed to play at Baylor for Coach Mitch Thompson. Woodson led the game off with a single. So 2 outs, runner at third. Bryce Thompson on the mound in relief of Raymer here in the second inning. Raymer went from the mound to second. The pitch. Curveball right there, top of the zone for a called strike. Counts 0-1 with 2 outs. The Panthers leading 3-0. He set the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Lifted high into left. Under, makes the catch for the third out. And the Tigers get out of a jam thanks to the double play between Raymer and Busby and Bruns. Panthers still lead by 3. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live.
With 16 years of real estate experience from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
And we're rolling into the bottom of 2. It's going to be 7, 8, and 9, Landon Bruns, Jake Matthew, and Owen Raymer. So I did get the switches that were made defensively for the Tigers. Jaden Keith, or Parker Watson, was in left, and the first pitch to Bruns is in there for a called strike. Reagan was at second, and he went to left, and Raymer went to short. The 0-1 on the way, swung on and lifted to center, and Wheathorn tracking. The wind takes it all the way to the wall. Squared it up. The wind took it, but just not enough, as that's a long out to start off the bottom of the second for the Tigers. Brings up Jake Matthew, the third baseman. He steps in. Square stance, got a little bit of a crouch. Here's the pitch. Swung on down the first baseline and just on the right side of the bag for a foul ball. Runs the count to 0-1. Hopefully the wind blowing the way that it is going to keep that 101 not feeling like 101. Maybe it'll feel like 91. I don't know how much better that is. But here we are. Counts 0-1. The wind, the kick, the pitch. That's pounded into the turf. Big hop for Lytle. He flips to first and in time. And that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second for the Tigers. Brings up Owen Raymer. He moved from the mound to second base. The pitch. Change up, pulls a string on it. He was a little bit out front. Swings over the top of it for strike 1. The 0-1's on the way. Thought about trying to put it down for a base hit, as the third baseman, Olmstead, is way deep. But it was there for a called strike 2. And the count's 0-2. The wind, the pitch. And a check swing, and he rings him up on the inside corner. And the Tigers are down in order real quick here in the second. 1, 2, and 3. We're heading to the top of the third with the Panthers leading 3-0. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. And back to action here, top of the third. Drew Olmstead leading things off, then the Wheathorn, and then the Quinn. So 2, 3, and 4 due up here for the Panthers as they lead 3-0 in this elimination game. Game 3 of the regional semis. Bryce Thompson still on the bump. The pitch. Fastball just misses downstairs for ball 1. One thing today with the Panthers is the plate discipline has been pretty solid. A lot of great pitches that are just missing, and they're laying off of them. Here's the 1-0 right there on the outside corner for a called strike. Evens it up at 1-1. Olmsted had the sacrifice bunt back in the first, moved the runner up. That eventually came around to score. The 1-1. Just misses again. Again, great plate discipline. That pitch looked right there. Had to be just low. Takes it to 2-1. Olmsted heading off to McMurray. It's his next stop. That's up the middle and going to get through for a single. So just like the Tigers last night, the Panthers 3 straight innings. I think the Tigers went 5 with the leadoff hitter reaching before that streak ended last night. And here we are again with the Panthers 3 straight innings with the leadoff hitter reaching. Brings up Garrett Weethorn, center fielder. Stands in with that open stance. Here's the pitch. Curveball right there. They finally get that call on the outside corner for strike 1. Kornblum running through signs as Weethorn stepped out. He's in the box. Thompson set the pitch and a check swing, and on the appeal, no. It was a beautiful curveball, but he held the swing up just enough to run the count to 1-1. As Thompson comes set, the runner goes 1-1, swung on to Busby at short. Backhand, throws across, and not in time. Not sure if it wasn't in time or if Bruns had to come off the bag as Busby had to throw that deep from the hole and couldn't get enough on it to get there. Now Raymer's out to have a word with Redding about whether or not if the throw was in time or if he came off the bag. But it was one of those plays where Busby had to kind of do a jump throw to get it there and just couldn't get enough of the arm behind it. And Weethorn beats it out for an infield single. And again, the Tigers are getting the ball on the ground. The pitching's been effective. They got the double play to get out of the jam last inning. See if we can do that again here in the third. It's Quinn at the plate. Had the homer back in the first to extend the lead to where it is today, or right now at 3-0. First pitch misses down and away for ball 1. The 1-0 is on the way, and right there on the inside corner for a called strike with the fastball. Perfect pitch from Thompson as Quinn is up on the plate. Thompson is set. The 1-1 on the way. Bounces off the plate, gets by Stinger all the way to the backstop. And that's going to allow the runners to move up to second and third with no outs. And the dangerous Brody Quinn at the plate for the Panthers. Thompson stares in, has the glove tucked up underneath the armpit. Gets his sign as he comes set. Infield's in. Here's the 2-1. Row right past a diving Busby. If he would have been playing deep, he would have had that. But you got to bring the infield in. That was absolutely scorched by Quinn. Busby laid out in just under his glove. And another RBI for Quinn. his third on the day, and the score is now 4-0 as Weethorn moves up to third. And Quinn's at first. Stenger steps out to run through first and third signs and situations. So usually in this situation, you have several options. You can run a straight steal play where you throw it all the way through. It's 4-0. Scythe at the plate. Overcooks the fastball, misses way outside for ball one. So back to your first and third. You can throw it straight through, catch the runner. You'll see a pump fake. See if you can get the runner from third to bite. If he does, you get him in a rundown. You'll see a cut play where the second baseman charges in behind the pitcher and the throw is cut. And Thompson is set. The 1-0 on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back into the screen to even it up at 1-1. Still no outs in the inning. Runners on the corners. Sometimes you'll also see a player like the shortstop will come charging in, and they'll directly throw the ball to the shortstop right there on the grass, and the view will give the third baseman the perception that the ball is going through, and he'll take off, and then you have a play at the plate. So a lot of options. You run through those. Those are off-season plays, practice, things that you go through over and over and over. The 1-1. Swung and misses the curveball, actually foul tip into the glove of Stenger for strike two. Runs the count to 1-2. No outs, runners on the corners. Tyler Scythe at the plate. Thompson with the little stutter step. He's set. Here's the pitch. Quinn takes off. Ball is put into the air. Second baseman, it's in no man's land. We have a play at the plate. The throw from Trantham. In time, but a great slide by Weethorn. Not sure what happened there. Quinn had a stop and go. He was stealing. Raymer was going to cover the bag. It was a lazy pop fly in front of Trantham. He came charging hard. Again, the sun playing a role here. It is bearing down right onto the field, into the eyes of the players, and Trantham had a hard time picking that up and getting there. So it drops in front of him. So a single for Scythe. He picks up the RBI. Quinn moves up to second, and Weethorn comes in to score to take it to 5-0. So 4 singles in a row, and that's going to be the day for Thompson. As this call to the bullpen brought to you by Angelica Lopez and Styled Real Estate. She brings 16 years of experience to the Spring, Woodlands, Conroe, and surrounding areas. You see that commercial come up, scan that little QR code. It'll take you straight to her website and tell you all about what she can do for you as a real estate agent. We'll be back after this. Tigers Baseball, Houston Sports Live.
With 16 years of real estate experience from investments and building to remodeling and selling, I'm Angelica Lopez, bringing seasoned insight to the Spring, Woodlands, and surrounding areas. Thinking of buying, selling, or investing? Let's connect.
the Tigers have gone to Sam Busby. He's coming from short. He had 3 innings of work last night, so he has some pitches left before he bumps into that pitch count number. Raymer's going to shift from second to short. And I'm not sure who came in at second, and of course there'll probably be a ball right to him. That swung on and down the left field line and out of play. It's Kenyon Martins at the plate for the Panthers. The Panthers have put together 4 straight singles and pushed 2 more runs across here in the third to take a 5-0 lead in this Game 3 elimination game in the regional semis. So Martins at the plate, counts 0-1. He has that wide open stance again, sitting on that back leg. Here's the 0-1. Swung on to the third baseman, Matthew. Steps on the bag. The throw across in time. Turns the double play. Nice play over there. Jake Matthew continuing to flash the leather once again.
Up to bat, number 4, Charlie Steen.
So 2 outs now in the inning, and Charlie Steen at the plate, the catcher for the Panthers, with 2 outs and a runner at second. That's Scythe. So Busby comes in, gets the ground ball. Again, as I've been saying, they're getting those ground balls. They've just been getting through the infield. The pitch. Changeup misses down and in for ball 1. Steen was hit by a pitch in the second, then got stranded at third, back in the second. The 1-0 on the way. Curveball misses away, take it to 2-0. 2 outs in the inning. Runner at second. Panthers have already added 2 to the lead. Takes it to 5-0. The 2-0 swung on and fouled down the right field line, out of play. That's going to run the count to 2-1 on the catcher, Steen, with David Lytle, the second baseman, on deck. The 2-1 misses away and high and outside. That's going to run it to 3-1. As Busby toes it up, stares in, has that glove on the hip. Takes a big exhale, and he comes set at the belt. Here's the 3-1, and he hits him in the back. And it looks like on the deflection, it caught Stanger in the thigh. Trainer's out as he stands up. He hasn't taken the face mask off, so I don't think that might have caught him in the spot. Hopefully he has some little extra protection and just kind of catches you off guard for a second, but we're good to go. So Steen's hit by pitch again for the second time in the game. That brings up Jackson Goldstrich, the designated hitter today. Then David Lytle, he's on deck. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Sam Busby on the mound. The pitch, curveball right there on the outside corner where he was living all night last night with that pitch. Very effective. As Busby stares in, gets his sign, and he's set at the belt. The 0-1 on the way. Right there at the top of the zone with the curveball again for a strike 2. That runs it to 0-2. 2 outs. Wind really blowing out to right center now. It's really picked up a little bit more. The 0-2 on the way. Swung and misses a fastball. Foul tips it into the glove of Stenger for the third out of the inning. But the Panthers put 2 across to take a 5-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the third. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. Strike. The wind, the kick, the 2-1 misses high. One thing I've noticed out of Potts on the mound is the way his back leg, he slides it to the right, brings it back. A lot of movement, and he walks Keith for the second time today. But he drags that foot across the rubber all the way to the first base side. He starts in the middle, drags it across during the windup, drags it back to the middle. A lot of movement there. Reagan at the plate, the pitch. Fastball right there on the outside edge for a called strike. Reagan struck out back in the first. Kind of the same situation. Keith was on first, Reagan at the plate. Potts is set. The 0-1. Curveball is right there. On the outer third for a called strike 2. That's going to take it to no balls, 2 strikes on Jackson Reagan. As he calls time, steps out, takes a couple of practice swings, regathers, steps back in, deep in the box, both feet on the line. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and fouled out of play. We're going to keep the count at 0-2. With no outs, we're in the bottom of the third. Tigers trailing 5-0. The 0-2 swung on and fouled again. As Reagan is battling, spoiling off some good pitches, trying to get himself back in this count. Trantham on deck. Keith with the lead. The 0-2 on the way. Swung on down the third base line. Oh, just foul. Man, just foul. Had to cross over the bag right before it got there. As Reagan put a good swing on it again. And just came up short of having a double. And we're going to reset. We're going to do it again. Counts 0-2. As he's doing everything he can to take away that inside edge. He is really up on the plate. He's about as far as you can get without being called out by the umpire. Here's the 0-2. Now it's swung on up the middle to Woodson. He steps on the bag and throws the first for the unassisted double play. Now with 2 outs in the inning, and Tanner Trantham at the plate. Smoked the double to the right center gap back in the first, then got stranded at second. When the Tigers had the bases loaded and 1 out. 2 outs in the inning. Trantham at the plate. Here's the pitch. Is a changeup, misses low. The wind, the kick, the pitch. There's a changeup in the dirt. Takes it to 2-0. Again, Potts, it's one of those, a little mechanical fix with that windup. He's losing a lot of momentum. If he would just work out of one spot and get downhill, here's the 2-0. Misses low again. Kind of the things I like to do with pitchers when I see their mechanics get really long and winded like that, I just get them into the stretch. Have him pitch from the stretch. Here's the 3-0, and he takes that for a 4-pitch walk. And that's the second base runner of the inning for the Tigers. And brings up Ed Rothlander, center fielder. He walked back in the first. Trantham at first. Works on a lead. The pitch. Curveball, swung and miss. As Rothlander turned to the home plate umpire asking for confirmation, was that a strike or a ball? What did I swing at? Potts is set. The 0-1. Misses downstairs with the curveball, evens it at 1-1. The 1-1 on the way, misses outside with the fastball to run into 2 balls and 1 strike. Trantham at first, hopping lead. The 2-1, swung on and fouled towards the Panthers dugout. And we're going to pause for a second as that ball kicked back out onto the field, and a Panther out of the dugout goes and secures it. Now we have the ready for play. Deuces wild on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Potts comes set. The 2-2. Swung on and driven down the right field line and slicing foul. Keeps it at 2-2. Just like to see the Tigers get something going here, put a couple of runs on the board, put the game within striking distance. Time called at the plate as Rothlander steps out, adjusts the batting gloves. It's one of those things, you see it on TV, you can just kind of like hear it. Even though they're not doing it. If you played the game, you know that sound, that Velcro tearing. As Potts is set. Trantham bouncing around at first. The 2-2. Bounces a curveball in the dirt. Trantham takes off. Throw way offline. And a stolen base for Trantham puts him in scoring position. With 2 outs and a full count on the batter, Ed Rothlander for the Tigers. The payoff pitch on the way. Swung on and driven to center. Wheathorn turns, runs to the wall in front of the track, makes the catch. Gave it a ride again, but Wheathorn runs it down. Tigers are held scoreless. They threatened here in the third. We're moving to the fourth. They trail by 5. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. This region semifinal matchup between the Waco Midway Panthers and your Conroe Tigers. Panthers are leading 5-0. Winner moves on to face Klein Kane next week in the regional finals. Weidel leading things off for the Panthers. Here's the pitch. He puts down a bunt, perfectly executed right in front of the plate. Oh, nice play by Stanger. He busts out. Bare hands it, turns around, and throws an absolute dart down to Bruns at first for the first out of the inning. A fantastic play by Stanger, showing off the abilities back there behind the plate. Pounced on it, turned, and threw a dart. Looked like a little Yadier Molina in that. 1 out, back to the top of the order, TJ Woodson. The pitch is hammered into, no, diving stop by Raymer. Keeps on the infield. But by the time Raymer got to his knees to make the throw, Woodson was about 2 steps from first, and he just held on to it. Infield single for Woodson, and he is 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. Brings up Drew Olmstead. He had to sacrifice bunt in the first and a single back in the third, and came around to score for run number 4. 1 out in the inning. Runner at first. Olmstead at the plate. The pitch is a fastball at the knees for a called strike. Wheathorn on deck. If the inning gets extended, then back to Brody Quinn, the first baseman. Olmstead, the pitch up the middle. Oh, right at Busby. Almost decapitates him. Puts the glove up to protect himself, snags it. They had a hit and run on, and he flips it to first for the double play. My, oh my, what a play by Drew Busby and Landon Bruns to finish the inning. No runs on a hit. We're heading to the bottom of the fourth here. This is Tigers Baseball on Houston Sports Live. Bottom of four. It's going to be Stanger, Busby, and Bruns for the Tigers as they are trailing 5-0 in this region semifinal game. But you talk about self-defense, Busby just threw the glove up to protect himself. Almost knocked him backwards when he caught it. But a big play, something that could turn the things around for the Tigers. Here we go. Stanger takes a fastball on the inside corner for a ball. Potts still on the mound. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside. Runs it to 2-0 on Stanger. He's deep in the box. Here's the 2-0. Swung on. Out to left center, Weethorn giving chase and reaches up, makes the catch just in front of the track for out number one. Brings up Sam Busby. He flew out to Quinn at first, back in the first inning. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Swung on up the middle. Woodson plays the bat hop, gets it there in time. The ball was just spinning. That's the thing about playing on this AstroTurf. The ball, it's going to hit. You're going to get a top spin, and if there's anything else on it, it's going to spin again on that second hop. And it was spinning away from Woodson. He got it, kind of hit the heel of the glove. He made the adjustment and a strong throw in time to get Busby. Brings up Landon Bruns. The pitch on the way. Misses low with the fastball. Two outs in the inning. The 1-0 on the way. Swung on. That is going to get out to left and drop in front of Martin for a single. And a 2-out single for Bruns is going to bring up Jake Matthew, third baseman. Some great plays last night. That's continued over to today. He had that step on the bag, unassisted double play. Helped the Tigers get out of a jam. He steps in with 2 outs. Tigers trailing by 5. The pitch. High with the fastball for ball 1. He stands in that deep crouch. Little Jeff Bagwellish, the 1-0. Swung on and fouled straight back into the screen for strike 1. Evens it at 1-1. I'd kind of say more of like a Pete Rose 1970s type of crouch versus Bagwell. The 1-1. That's on the ground to third baseman Olmstead. Can't handle it. It had a lot of topspin on it. It came down. He tried to swipe at it on the short hop instead of knocking it down. And that gets by him.
Coming in bat, number 2, Owen Raymer.
And that puts runners at first and second with 2 outs and Owen Raymer at the plate. He struck out back in the second. Tigers looking to get something going here, the 2-out rally, trailing by 5 in the bottom of the 4th. Potts still on the mound. He comes set. The pitch. Fastball up in the zone.
Great pitch.
For ball 1. The 1-0 on the way. High and inside again for ball 2. As Potts comes set, the 2-0 on the way. Misses. Kind of had to wait. The umpire kind of gave that little side shuffle like he was going to fire the fist. Had to be just a little low, and that takes it to 3-0 on Raymer. Keith on deck if Raymer can reach. Sure you'll see a take here. Here's the 3-0. Center cut fastball is right there for a called strike. Runs it to 3-1. If Raymer can get one out to the right center gap on the little line drive, he can run forever. It is wide open out there. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, right out to Lytle at second. He scoops and throws to first in time, gets out of a jam. Tigers attempted a 2-out rally, couldn't keep it going. They're down by 5 as we move to the top of 5. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. Hey Panthers, your Conroe Tigers. Panthers are leading by 5. Sam Busby on the mound. He's gone 2 innings. He's only throwing 14 pitches. Had a very quick inning last in the 4th. We could do that again here. Here's the pitch. That is swung on and lifted in foul territory, giving chase as Bruns lays out in front of the Tigers dugout, just short of making the catch. And that's going to be strike 1 on Garrett Weethorn, the center fielder for the Tigers. Busby doing his part. Pitched a heck of a game last night for 3. His pitch count's low here this afternoon, only 15. So he stares in, gets his sign. And he steps back off, didn't like what was being flashed down by Stanger. As he looks over to the dugout, he's like, what are you doing, coach? That's not what I want to throw him. Now he gets his sign. The sidestep, the kick, the pitch. A check swing. And no, then the appeal down to Robert Redding, first base umpire. And that's going to even it at 1-1. The 1-1 on the way. Swung on, lifted down the right field line. Runs giving chase. He settles and makes the catch. Shades the sun for out number 1. Brings up the cleanup hitter for the Panthers, Brody Quinn. He's 2 for 2 on the day with a home run and a single. Had a 2-run blast in the first that gave the Panthers a 3-0 lead. They've added a couple since. It's at 5 here in the top of the 5th. The pitch, fastball away. Stanger staring in, Busby gets his sign from Stanger, the 1-0. Just misses the inside corner. That's going to take it to 2 balls and no strikes with 1 out. The pitch on the ground. Raymer can't get there. He had him shaded deep in the hole for a pull. That ball was more towards the second base side. They would have had him shaded. Probably could have got there. So another single for Quinn. He's 3 for 3 on the day. Brings up Tyler Scythe. He's the right fielder. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Here's the pitch. Curveball right there. Catches the outside corner for a called strike. 1 out in the inning. Quinn's at first with the 1-out single. The pitch. Quinn with a stop and go. Not sure whether or not throwing behind him on that. He's probably about a third of the way down to second base. Stanger's got to pick up on that and throw behind him. Runs the count to 1-1 as Busby comes set at the belt. The pitch. Swung on out to right. That's going to be right at Trantham. He makes the catch. Makes a couple of steps to his left. Corrals it in for out number 2.
At bat number 18, Canyon Martin.
Brings up Canyon Martin, left fielder for the Panthers. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a ground ball to the third baseman, Matthew. That was the unassisted step on the bag, throw to first, double play. So 2 outs here in the inning. Busby is set at the belt. The pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman, Reagan. Flips, and in time for the 3rd out of the inning. 1 hit, no runs, and 1 left on. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th. The Tigers trail by 5. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. for the Tigers, top of the order. So it's Keith, Reagan, and Trantham. They're down by 5. Potts still on the mound, the pitch on the way. Right there on the inside corner for a called strike. The wind, the kick, the pitch. The 0-1, he shows bunt. And he attempts on the appeal, says first base umpire Robert Redding, and Keith is down in the count 0-2. The pitch on the outside corner with the curveball, and Keith's down looking for out number 1, brings up Jackson Reagan. One out in the inning. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Fastball misses low and outside for ball 1 to Reagan. Trantham on deck. Anybody reaches, Ed Rothlander. Here's the pitch. Misses down and away for ball 2. The 2-0 is on the way. Misses high and inside. And that runs it to 3-0. If you're Coach Reimer, you got to start looking at the outsider left in this game. Down to 8. Here's the pitch. Misses inside. 4-pitch walk for Reagan. Every out counts at this point. So a 1-out walk for Reagan brings up Trantham. And you've got to start maximizing each at bat. You're down by 5. And you got to start do the math. Down by 5, how are you going to get those runs? The pitch. Fastball away for ball 1 to Trantham. He doubled in the first. He walked in the third and stole second. The 1-for-1 on the day. The 1-0 almost hits him. And that's going to get Kornblum out of the dugout to have a conversation with his pitcher, Potts. And if this is just, hey, we have a 5-run lead, you've thrown 6 straight balls. So a 4-pitch walk to Reagan. He's down 2-0 to Trantham. So 6 straight pitches that were out of the zone. Hey, we're up by 5. The only way they get back in this game is if you start walking people, somebody comes up, runs into one, and it's 5-3. We can't have that. You got to pound the zone. Let these guys beat us with the bat. It's a simple conversation. Easier said than done. You got to execute. You got to think too. It's 101, 102 degrees out here. He's been out there on the mound. We're going on right at an hour and a half of game time, and he's at 72 pitches. The 2-0 to Trantham. Almost hits him in the head. That's 7 straight balls. Just gets out of the way of that one with the fastball. Runs it to 3-0. At this point, as good as a hitter as Trantham is, you'd love to give him a swing away here. But 7 straight balls, you need a base runner. I think Trantham is down there begging Coach Reimer to let me swing it. Let me swing it. He is up tight on the plate. He's about as close as you could get. Toes on the line. Here's the pitch. That's in there for a called strike on the inside corner. Trantham asking. Gets the nod from the umpire. He nods back. We're good to go. It's 3-1. 1 out, runner at first. Trantham at the plate. Down by 5. The pitch. Swung on and belted to left. It's got a chance. That is gone. Trantham with a 2-run blast. A towering shot to left field. That probably hit Lehman Road back there. And the Tigers are on the board. On the 2-run bomb off the bat of Tanner Trantham. And again, that kind of goes to amplify the conversation that Kornblum had. You're walking people. You can't do that. That's the only way they're going to get back in this game. You walk them. They get a couple of hits together, 1 run at a time. Now they're down by 3. 1 out only here in the 5th. Ed Rothlander at the plate. And that's tap foul at the plate for strike 1. The 0-1 on the way. Misses downstairs with the curveball to even it up at 1-1. The pitch. Curveball misses in the dirt to run it to 2-1. Action in the Panthers bullpen. The pitch on the way. Right there on the inside edge. And that's going to even it up 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rothlander. The 2-2 on the way. Swings and misses over the top of a changeup. Nice pitch right there by Potts to get Rothlander for the 2nd out. And the 2nd strikeout of the inning. Brings up Gavin Stanger. Looks like Hayden Merritt getting loose in the Panthers bullpen. Keep an eye on that for you. Here's the pitch. Almost hits him in the hands with the fastball in the inside corner. The 1-0 on the way. Swung on. That is out towards the left center gap. Could be trouble. Gets down. It gets by the left fielder Martin, but there is Weathorn to back it up. Nice job by Weathorn to be there. Otherwise, that could have been 2 or 3 for Stanger. So a single for Stanger with 2 outs. That's going to bring Busby up. And the inning stays alive for the Tigers. Another run or 2 would be nice here if you're the Tigers. The pitch. Curveball in the inside corner for a called strike. Busby 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to the first baseman, grounded to the shortstop. He's set. Here's the 0-1. That's swung on. That's down the right side to the second baseman, Lytle. He struggles with it, can't get it. He regathers and gets it there in time for the 3rd out. But the Tigers strike. They put 2 on the board courtesy of the 2-run bomb by Tanner Trantham. They're still down by 3. We're moving to the top of the 6th. 5-2 is your score. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. So number 7, I believe that is Hayden Martin, who I saw warming up in the bullpen, is pinch hitting for the catcher Steen here to get things going in the top of the 6th. Busby still on the mound. He's throwing 24 pitches through 3 innings of work. Or three and change. I can't remember if he came in with an out or 2 outs. But he's been very effective. The pitch. Center cut fastball taken for a strike. Evens it at 1-1. So it's 7, 8, 9. Goldstrich, he's on deck. And then David Lytle is in the 9 hole. That is swung on and lifted foul down the left field line and out of play. Busby stares in. The wind, the kick. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and lifted towards left. Under it, makes the catch. That's Reagan, I think. They keep moving guys around on me. So 1 out in the inning brings up the designated hitter, Jackson Goldstrich, with 1 out. They're up by 3. The Panthers up by 3. It's 5-2. Here's the pitch. That's swung on right at Raymer at second. Makes the scoop, the throw. And never mind, I don't think that is Raymer. Made a change there. That's Alex Villasena. Has come into the game at shortstop. So David Lytle at the plate. He's grounded into a double play. And then the great play by Stanger at the plate on the bunt attempt. As he tried to kill it at the plate, Stanger jumped out there and jumped on it. That misses low for ball 1. The 1-0 on the way. He expands the zone, chases a fastball way out towards the left-handed batter's box for strike 1 to even it at 1-1. 2 outs here in the inning. Tigers need to hold them. Here's the pitch. Curveball misses downstairs, takes it to 2-1. Busby staring in, gets his sign. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Right there on the outside corner with the fastball for called strike 2. That evens it at 2-2. 2's on the board. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and lifted to deep left at the wall. Reaches up, makes the catch. It's not Reagan because he's at second. I saw his number. Not sure if that's Keith out there, if they killed the DH during all this process, but he makes the play for the 3rd out. The score is 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Tigers are down to their last 6 out, down by 3. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. runs. Keeping up with these changes for you. The 0-1 on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back for strike 2. Just getting going here in the bottom of the 6th. No outs. Tigers are trailing by 3. Scores 5-2. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Swung on up the middle, right at Woodson. Scoops, throws across, and 1 out in the inning.
Number 11, Jake Matthew.
That's going to bring up Jake Matthew, third baseman. With 1 out, nobody on. Trailing by 3. Tigers down to their last 5 outs. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and fouled down the right field line. You got to start doing the math. 5 outs, you're down by 3. Every at bat has to count. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down and away. Evens in at 1-1. Olmsted with that kind of Hunter Brown, Verlander approach on the mound. Here's the pitch. That's swung on down the right field line, fading and foul out of the reach of Scythe, giving chase. So strike 2. Not really sure why Olmsted ball came in. He's just kind of taking his time to get back on the mound. Not sure if Scythe, something was going on, but here's the 1-2. Gets him to chase the fastball up and out of the zone for the strikeout. And so Alex Villasana came into the game for Raymer. First pitch misses to Villasana outside for ball 1. It's his first at bat in the series. The 1-0. Right there on the outside edge for a called strike with the fastball. Evens it at 1-1. Olmsted came in last night in relief. Here's the pitch. Misses in the dirt with the curveball. Takes it to 2-1. Kind of has the Bryce Harper face paint, war paint going. The 2-1 on the way. Dots the outside corner with the fastball. Evens it at 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. 2 strikes, 2 balls. Deuces wild. The 2-2's on the way. Here's the pitch. Just off the corner. That's going to run it full. And the payoff pitch on the way. Up the middle. Whizzes right by Olmsted's head. And Villasana shortened it up and put it in play. And he's on base with 2 outs, and that's going to take us back to the top of the order. And Jaden Keith at the plate. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. The pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back into the screen. He was on that one, just missed the barrel for strike 1. Olmsted set at the belt, the 0-1. Big 12-6 curveball. Buckled Keith for strike 2. It's the first time we've seen that pitch from Olmsted. The 0-2. Goes to the changeup or knuckleball, not sure what. Or he crossed up his catcher, Steen. because it was right there, just whizzed right by, almost caught the umpire for ball 1. Counts 1-2. Olmsted staring in, glove on the hip. He's set at the belt. The 1-2 misses off the edge. But the wild pitch allows the Villasana to move up to second. So a runner in scoring position. This could be a big at bat here for Keith. He puts one in play, pick up another run. Olmsted stares in, gets his sign. He's set at the belt. The 2-2 misses way outside. Runs it full. Olmsted set at the belt. Payoff pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back into the screen. Keeps it at 3-2. Keith battling, trying to keep this inning alive. Olmsted, he's set at the belt. Payoff pitch on the way. Swung on down the right first baseline. Picked by Quinn, steps on the bag for the third out to extinguish the threat. We're moving to the top of the 7th. Tigers trail by 3. It's 5-2. This is Tigers baseball on Houston Sports Live. Flamin' Lobos. This region semifinal between the Panthers of Waco Midway and your Conroe Tigers. They're down by 3, 5-2. It's the top of the order for the Panthers. Sam Busby still on the mound. He's had a very effective relief performance last night and once again here today. Here's the pitch. On the ground to the first baseman, Bruns. A little squibber with the spin, and he races Woodson to the bag for the first out of the inning here in the 7th. That first out's always big. And that's going to bring up Drew Olmsted, who's on the mound now. He's been at third. He pitched him relief last night. He's pitching him relief here today. As he steps in with 1 out, nobody on, with a 3-run lead. Busby gets his sign, the sidestep, the kick, the pitch. Curveball misses high and inside for ball 1. Wind really blowing out to right center. I mean, it's really picked up here the last inning. Man, he paints the inside corner with that curveball. Beautiful pitch right there by Busby to even it at 1-1. The kick, the pitch. Just misses downstairs with the curveball. Runs it to 2-1. The wind, the kick, the 2-1. Misses high and inside with the fastball. Runs it to 3-1. The 3-1 on the way from Busby. The pitch. Dots the outside corner. Gets the call. Run the count full. The payoff pitch on the way. On the ground and through the 4-hole. A 1-out single for Olmsted. And that's going to bring up Garrett Weathorn, as we'll have a courtesy runner for Olmsted, the pitcher. Going to want to get him out of this heat, let him finish the game, as it is scorching. It's about 102 out there.
We have a courtesy runner, number 14, Andrew Basso.
It's one of those, as you're out there on the field on that turf, you can kind of feel it melting underneath your cleats as you're running. Wind kind of subsided here for the last about 30, 60 seconds or so. Weathorn at the plate, has that open stance. Bat on the shoulder. Runner at first and 1 out. The pitch shows bunt and finally a throw behind. They've been doing that all day. A good throw. He short hopped it down there. And that's always a thing I used to use when I was coaching. If you have a bunt attempt and the guy misses, you always throw to first as a catcher. Always throw behind the runner because they're not expecting that. They bounce, go. They think the bunt's down. You catch them off guard. They're sleeping, and bam, you steal an out. The 1-0 on the way. Misses outside for ball 2. Panthers looking for a couple of insurance runs. They're up by 3. If you're looking ahead for the Tigers, it's the middle of the order. 2, 3, and 4s due up. So they have every opportunity, if they can hold them here, to put 3 across and tie this game. That misses outside for ball 3. But you got to hold them. Busby's got to battle back, get the ground ball, get the double play, and let's get out of this inning and get in that dugout. He's showing bunt with 3-0. I'm not sure where that was. It was down the middle. One thing I'm never a fan of is that what just happened. You're up 3-0 in the count, and you square around, and you're just waving the bat out there. That's like 10-year-old Little League tactics. Do you see my rule with my players always was, do you see a Major League Baseball player do that stuff? If not, then you don't do it. Plain and simple. What big leaguers do is the way you should play the game and play the game. I'm just not a fan of that. I'll get off my soapbox. Don't like that stuff at all. Play the game. Play it right. As Coach Raymer's come out of the dugout, Busby's probably closing in on that pitch count number. He's been laboring here for these last 2 batters. Now first is just I need some reassurance. Where are you? Are you tired? Do we need to go to someone else? What do you have? I need you to get me 2 more outs. It's a tough angle for us to see what's going on in the Tigers bullpen. See some bodies moving around in there, but it's hard to tell who it is and who's throwing. So runners at first and second on the single and a walk to Weathorn. Brings up the dangerous Brody Quinn. He stands in. He's 3 for 3 on the day, 2 singles and a home run. The 0-1 swung on, fisted out towards right. Trantham charging in, makes the catch. The runner tags, and a missile from Trantham as he shows off the arm. Throws a dart to third base. And that is the second out of the inning and the first time of the day where Quinn has been retired. And like I said before throughout this game, he has impressed me the way he swings the bat. He can pull it, and he definitely has a lot of power to the opposite field, as that one was just short of the warning track. And he's hit 2 bombs up the middle and 1 to right center. Has a fantastic swing. Brings up Tyler Seath, the right fielder, with 2 outs. The pitch swung on and fouled straight into the screen for strike 1. Top of 7, 2 outs. Scores 5-2. Busby on the mound. He's come in relief. The pitch. Swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 2. You can just see Busby he's given everything he has. You can't ask for more from what this young man has done the last 2 games, last night, and here he is again today in relief. The 0-2 on the way. Curveball, poke down the right field line. Bruns gets it, steps on the bag. 3rd out. Busby holds him. Now it's time for the Tigers bats to come alive. They need 3. Bottom of 7th, they trail 5-2. Tigers baseball, Houston Sports Live. Fans are on their feet. Bottom of the 7th. 2, 3, and 4. Jackson, Reagan, Tanner, Trantham. Reagan at the plate. First pitch. Fastball right there for a called strike. Olmstead on the mound. The 0-1 on the way. Right there again. Almost the same identical pitch. Reagan down in the count, 0-2. Tigers need base runners. They're going to need at least 4 or 5 guys to come to the plate to get the 3 runs that they need. The 0-2 on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back. Reagan stays alive. The 0-2. Curveball. He gets around that one, leaves it way high and outside. For ball 1 to Reagan. The 1-2. Curveball again, same result. That evens it at 2-2. No outs, nobody on. The wind, the kick, the pitch. Swings, foul tips into the glove of Steen. For the strikeout and out number 1. That's going to bring up Tanner Trantham. Had the 2-run homer to get the Tigers on the board back in the 5th. The pitch. Curveball again. He's having a hard time getting the release point on that. If you're a Tigers hitter in the dugout on deck, you better be taking a look at that. He's thrown it 3 or 4 times and he can't get it. Sit on the fastball. Here's the 1-0. And he puts one right there on the knees at the corner. We used to call that knocking down the Pringles can out there. That was a beautiful pitch from Olmsted. Evens it at 1-1 on Trantham. The pitch. Change up, down and away, misses for ball 2. One out, bottom of 7. Tigers down to their last 2. The 2-1. Way outside with the fastball. Takes it to 3-1. You gotta be sitting on it if you're Trantham. Here's the pitch. And he pulls the string on the changeup. Trantham sitting on the fastball. He was looking to make it a 5-3 ball game. And the payoff pitch on the way gets him looking. Fastball at the knees. Fantastic pitch from Olmsted. He's struggling with the curveball. He's got the changeup working in the fastball. That's all you need. Down to their last out. Rothlander at the plate. The pitch. Curveball way outside for ball 1 to Rothlander. The 1-0. Swing and miss through the fastball. Evens it at 1-1. The 1-1. Swings and misses. Handcuffed him on the inside fastball. Runs it to 1-2. Down to their last strike. 2 outs. 5-2. Rothlander steps out. Regathers. The pitch. Misses high with the fastball. Runs it to 2-2. Stanger on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and miss. Olmsted closes it out with 3 strikeouts. And that's the end of the fantastic run by the Conroe Tigers as they fall to the Waco Midway Panthers by a score of 5-2. We'll be back with a quick wrap after this. And a post-game wrap for you here on the Tigers post-game. They hung the Tigers. It won, first of all. It has been a pleasure to be here for these last 3 games to bring this to you live, especially for those of you that could not make the trip up here from Montgomery County, Conroe area. The last team from 13 6A standing was the Conroe Tigers. They fall in their bid to advance to the regional finals. Next week, it's going to be Klein Cain versus the Waco Midway Panthers. Probably a location somewhere in between. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. Both these teams, the Panthers and the Hurricanes, are on a run. I've seen the Hurricanes play. They're playing some great baseball. But how about a kudos to this coaching staff, Coach Raymer, these players from Conroe. They get the last spot for the playoffs. They qualify into the Division I 6A bracket. They took down Klein Collins. They took down Aldine. They got off to a nasty start in game 1 of this series. Beat 13-0 in game 1. Mercy Rule bounced back last night, had a fantastic game, pitching behind Boley and Busby. And speaking of Busby, he comes out again today, gives his team 4 solid innings in relief. Just not enough. The 2-run homer by Trantham gets him on the board. The difference was that first inning for the Panthers where Quinn has the big homer, and they were off and running. And again, the first team that scores in this series has won all 3 of these games. Tiger season comes to an end, but they can hold their heads high as they head home back to Conroe. Something big to build on for next season. And speaking of next season, proud to announce that Houston Sports Live will be bringing you coverage next year in 2026 of all your Conroe Tiger action. That'd be exciting to have a broadcast team for you next season, and we'll see you guys next year. Kudos to the run for the Conroe Tigers. It has been a pleasure to be here to bring this for you live. It's been exciting. Last night's game was one of the best games I called all season. Just action-packed, back and forth. Thank you to the listeners, the viewers, and Houston Sports Live for the opportunity to bring this to you. And again, that's it for the Tigers season. They fall 5-2, and their playoff run for 2025 has come to an end. And that's a wrap from Kyle, Texas, home of the Lehman Lobos. We'll see you in 2026.